new get back out here.
My oh man, they are still here talking plenty.
Yes, get a new SIM card for only 50 cents and you'll receive free 200 megabytes, valid for 7 days, and free 50 minutes on net credit, valid for 7 days. Now, all new customers acquiring a new SIM card will be able to use it right away. Enjoy rapid communication with friends and loved ones. We'll take pride in bringing you closer to what matters the most.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
Here we go. I am done transferring money from my account to my phone. And I didn't forget to purchase some data for both of us.
How did you manage to finish the process so fast?
Man, I'm using the new app there. With just one tap, I see all I want to do. Making it quick and easy for me.
You mean it easy and I only have to download the app?
Yes, so man. And by the way, the after you talk, I own me, Marco. I am paying using the same app. My transaction on the screen right in front of me.
No need to go through a long, tedious process to transact. Now, with one single tap, you find all options to complete your transactions. Download the Orange Money app from Play Store and the iPhone App Store and start enjoying. Easy like 1, 2, 3.
Brings you closer.
Excuse me, Papa, give me 1 bottle of wine. That's another plate of barbecue chicken and...
Wait up, wait 1 minute. Go come back. My lollipop, I know I told you to relax and enjoy, but sorry, I just checked and don't have enough cash.
Oh man, I am worried there. The last thing, I got cash on my phone. You will scan and pay. But I want my money back as soon as you get more.
No problem there, but explain to me some more. Scan and pay?
Yes, with money in your Orange Money wallet, you can now scan and pay using QR codes. Check with your favorite merchants. Don't be left behind. To pay, simply download and open the Orange Money Africa app, select Scan It and scan. Now payment is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Orange Money QR codes.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
Yo, what kind of message did people sending me again? Oh, who said my SIM not register? I was one of the first people them to buy my SIM from there when they came to Liberia.
I see. So that all I still holding on at the time. Now, you must do it using your national ID card. After registration, there is a special number you can call.
Yeah. They're really making it easier for us.
Yes, we are all required to register our SIM cards by using our national ID cards. But that's not all. Orange Liberia provides a very easy way out for you to self-check your status. Dial *543-4# to check your SIM registration status, free of charge. We take pride in bringing you closer to what matters the most.
Brings you closer.
Wait now, so you mean to tell me I can send my mom any amount now? The fees now reduced?
Yes, so it can make people happy, yeah?
That's not smart to you.
Send money to your loved ones from wallet to wallet, starting as low as $10 Liberian. Just dial *144# and follow the instructions to begin transacting.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
Hello, your number one 100% Liberian-owned professional garage and auto parts dealer, Uptown Garage, is still around and going stronger and getting better. Yes, Uptown Garage at the intersection of Broad and Nelson Streets, after 20 years in the business, has a new spare parts store known as Uptown Spare Parts on Broad Street side. You don't have to order spare parts from overseas. You can purchase brakes for your car from us. No more used parts. For original spark plug from Japan, oil filters, engine oil, and everything you need to get your car working perfectly, come to us. Uptown Garage has a branch at Rehab that you can also count on. We have a diagnoser that can find and we fix any problem on your car with our sophisticated equipment. We give 1 month warranty. We provide a tow truck free of charge if it's our garage that will work on your car, or we can tow your car anywhere for a fee. Uptown Garage has been around for 20 years now, providing reliable, efficient, and professional services and durable auto parts for your car. Contact Uptown Garage head of 0777 553317 0886 553317 or at our rehab branch on 0770 902865. Our email address is uptowngarage2014 at gmail.com. Uptown Garage, always the best. Forget the rest.
Thank you very much, Michael. Newspapers, the Heritage, the Inquirer newspaper, and the front page. So let me give you the banner headlines for the front and back pages of the 3 newspapers. Let's start with the Heritage. The Heritage said President we are hits back at opposition says he will defeat them come 2023. Ex-VP Biker criticizes Liberia's current state of education, unveils action plan under his leadership. I am re-energized to continue to work for the Liberian people. Labor Minister Gibson received huge commendation. China gives anti-COVID-19 material to Office of Vice President Cllr. President Weah congratulates China on the 72nd National Day observance. Inter-district quizzing competition winners. Page of the Heritage newspaper says next national budget will be the biggest ever. The photo of the Minister of the national budget next year will be the biggest ever. And I will add in the history of Liberia. For the signing of MOU UL to resume classes on Friday. We move over to the Inquirer newspaper said Cllr Diocese, Cllr Church appoints new administrator as Father Charles Boyce buried in silence. Father Boyce, the Vatican has appointed Monsieur Gabriel Blamo-Jube as the diocesan administrator of the Archdiocese of Monrovia, replacing Charles Boy. Father Gabriel Jube, I know him very well. We are vows to defeat the opposition. Unite to build a better Liberia. VP Taylor admonishes Liberians. NEC conducts civil and voter education for by-elections today. Liberian-owned remittances platform to be launched soon. The Inquirer newspaper said ritualistic activities hit Lofa residents alarmed. Liberia is facing drug epidemic, says pre-lead as Senator Delon dedicates Rehabilitation Center. To our final newspaper, the front page newspaper says Samarkand's victory to be declared void. Source hint, front page Africa, that the National Elections Commission will announce election for the senatorial seat in Lofa County due to the prolonged vacancy of the seat. The photo of the bloody soldier. Lee Road to work with the CPP Liberian Renaissance Office Incorporated, the group that recently hired Dr. Alan White as lobbyist in the States to begin community and support the opposition black. George Wisner photo is here. Vatican appoints new apostolic administrator for Monrovia, Reverend Monsieur Gabriel Blamo-Jube succeeds the late the Reverend Father Charles Boyce. Consortium of investigating journalists digs into how foreign national established share companies deprive countries like Liberia much needed revenue. British businessmen tax fraud uncovered. The leaked documents reveal that the companies linked to Prometheus International all had connections in Liberia, Sierra Leone, and other European countries. Baines wrote that he expected his new offshore company to receive $500,000 in the first year. Amid ongoing crisis and backbiting the collaborating political parties, President George Weah says they will, what is this? They will allege vote rigging in the 2023 elections as he will win convincingly. Massive opposition, massive loading. George Weah said, and I quote, they pronounced that I will never become president in this country. Now I'm president. They have come again to say I'll be one-term president. My word will speak for me. The Liberian people will go to the polls and I will defeat any individual that comes in the race. George Weah says that the president of Liberia. The back page of the front page newspaper says LFA award winners for 2020 and 2021. Fred Brooks wins most valuable men's player. Those are the three newspapers I have today, and the choice for our editorial will come. Liberia, an allegation of ritualistic killings are real. Come out and help the police. So we've invited the Learned Counselor, who is the president of the Liberian Bar Association, my friend and my counselor, Tiawon Gongloe, as our special studio guest. My co-host is Matthias Labendi. We want to quiz this great son of Nimba and a friend of mine on the level and class of shades and of corruption. Good morning, my friend and brother.
Good morning. I'm happy to be back here again.
You know, when somebody wants to be president, it can start showing you look too presidential.
Well, I'm president of the bar.
Not president of the library, but it's more than the looks. They paid more than president of the bar.
Well, that's your impression, and they say beauty lies in
the eyes of the beholder.
Thank you for the compliment.
You look too presidential.
Well, thank you.
Too presidential.
the emphasis is becoming.
It's convincing. When I look at you, I'm convinced. I'm looking at president.
It's becoming suspicious.
Maybe he wants you to declare now. Maybe he wants you to declare now.
No,
it's not time yet.
President of the bar, I have a lot of work to do. After November 27th, I will begin to concern myself with other issues. Because we're going to have elections on November 27th. And
of the bar?
Yes, and there are so many lawyers who are competing for the position, which means that I must have done a bit well for so many lawyers to be competing for the position.
Are you recontesting?
No. Honor our law is not permitted.
Oh, okay.
And even if...
Is it only one term?
Only one term.
Wow.
And the reason is we had a situation where you and I believe this. Richard Harris was president of the bar from 1944 until 1980, president of the bar, at the same time Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Who dare contest against him?
And before him, Charles D.B. King was there, also from the 1930s until 1944.
Why you want to change the course? Why you want to change the new?
One term of 3 years. Yeah. And look at the situation where the speaker was president.
For the governance in the
President Tubman and President Tubman's regime about governance in this country. More than that, the kind of person that likes to go to other issues, even if there was an opportunity for re-election, I would not have gone. I like to give opportunities to other people. It's like when people tell me now, what if you're appointed minister? I say, am I the only person in this country? I believe that people come and perform their task and leave. For other people.
Fresh ideas.
Yeah.
So let's look at this that you've talked about most of the time. Let's talk about corruption and its effects.
So corruption is one of the issues that have kept us behind. Two issues from the 1870s. Corruption and our inability to hold fair and free elections, transparent elections. It started with the first three-party president, E.J. Roy.
Mm-hmm.
He went to London in 1871 to get loan. Those who write in British pound would say 100 pounds sterling, which was equivalent to 500,000 United States dollars. He gave some of the money to the negotiator. The report is that he actually entered Liberia with, some people say, 300,000 Liberian dollars, put in pound sterling, 60,000 pound sterling. And his justification was that some of the money to buy things for Liberia. When he knew as a lawyer, because mind you, this man was knowledgeable. He was Speaker of the House of Representatives. He was Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia before becoming president. And I used the money. But in order for the president to use money, it must be budgeted. It must be appropriated by the legislature before it can be spent. So that expenditure he did in London was without approval. It was unconstitutional.
He was president.
It was president.
But he was president.
The president does not have authority to do anything he wants. We'll come to that. There's a difference between a monarch statutes. A king governs by edicts. The king says it's
the law.
It's different.
Yeah.
So he appointed the speaker at the time to negotiate the loan. When the speaker came, the legislature was so angry, and the agitation led to the speaker. His name was William Spencer Anderson. He was indicted for embezzlement, tried, and acquitted. But just how Liberians are angry about corruption now is how Liberians are angry about corruption then. While walking out of the door, he was acquitted. He was shot dead.
Shot dead?
Yes, it's in history. People were so angry.
Liberians had the audacity then.
And then in 1871, they said, okay, the court acquitted you. This is how maybe he has so much influence over the jury and all of that. He was acquitted. But as he walked out of the courtroom, he was shot dead.
By an unknown gunman?
But obviously in the crowd. So it shows that corruption is a serious thing in this country, even back then, more than 100 years ago. So we fast forward. I'll leave the election issue for another day. In 1926, in fact, 1930, our president, Charles D.B. King, and his vice president were forced to resign because of abuse of office. They were using their offices as president and vice president to sell most of your people to Fernando Po from the east coast of Liberia to Fernando Po and getting money. Corruption is about
literally selling the people,
selling their labor, going they work for them, and they decide how much the people get, and they were getting profit out of it. Till today, there are people, descendants of those people, still in Equatorial Guinea. So, corruption is about abuse of public office, and it shows itself in different ways. Some of them by putting their hands straight in the coffers and taking the money. Some of them by doing what Charles D.B. King as vice president did. Some of them by doing business and airborne other business people using unfair advantage. Some of them bringing their children into government. There are so many ways to abuse office. The one that we see most often is the taking of money. But there are different ways to and take it. So, and that is why I am angry with people who surely try to downplay corruption, not knowing the history of what corruption are doing in this country. It's everywhere. It's part of us. There's corruption in the family. There's corruption in the church. There's corruption in the community. I don't like to be rude, but I say for those who say that's nonsense. It is just not correct. This thing is so serious in this country that it should not be done. The corruption in the family is now controlled by law. We have Chapter 12 of our penal law on integrity in government. It is not about your family and my family. However we want to we use it with the children will not pay their school fee, our wife not getting some, that's a family affair.
As a nation.
But Liberia, for example, now is a state party to unite corruption. Liberia is a state party to the African Union Convention against on combating and preventing corruption. So we have international obligations to comply with the terms of those treaties. You and I, as individuals, do not have such obligation. That is what we are talking about. We should keep talking about public corruption. Whatever people do in a family is a moral issue. We are talking about corruption. And now, fast forward, 1980, the first thing that Samuel Doe told this country was he overthrew the Turbo government because of what? Rampant corruption.
Right. And abuse of power.
Yes.
Abuse of public office.
Abuse of public office. And then he himself and his co of comrades in the PRC themselves began corruption, and people became corrupt, and people started raising the issues that you kill people because of corruption. And then he abused office by having a fraudulent election. And for the first time in our country, after the election, 50 persons were appointed to count the ballots, and it gave a different result other than the results that you and I knew the poll watchers brought, which is another form of corruption. That's abuse of power. It led to the coup d'etat, to the war. And then Mr. Taylor came to power at the end of it. And we saw some more corruption. Part of the thing in this country, I think we should get to the point where I hope there will be a government that comes to power that says every 3 months there will be lifestyle audits of ministers,
government officials.
Yeah, government officials. And so that we can know from the beginning of the year, when you declare your assets to the Anti-Corruption Commission, after every quarter, when there is an increase beyond your salaries and you can't justify it, you should be questioned. Because corruption is so serious that we have to have extra mechanisms for curtailing it, because corruption has brought the first three-party leader in this country was dragged. So, Doris Banks Henry tell us that he tied the money on his waist, and as the guy in the cancer house, because the money was so heavy, another person, Kanga and Abayimika, said, no, yes, the money was there, but the people took the money from him and dragged him until his skin moved from his back. They put him in the prison, and he bled to death. Whichever way it is so terrible. So I'm saying, and that's what. So now corruption is what has led to removal of president, has led to removal of presidents 3 times. E.J. Roy, Charles D.B. King, Talbot. And in a way, not directly.
Talbot was Talbot because of corruption?
Yeah, that's rampant corruption.
Oh, that's what Doe said.
That's what Doe said.
And Doe came and repeated the same thing.
Exactly.
So my point is,
and there's some truth in it. When a president is doing business, President Talbot had 50% share in the Maserati group of companies. And you see, when the president is doing business, I was talking about Airborne, other people. You remember you and I were in school that we had an Oreo company here, which was a very good uniform
making
company.
uniforms, yeah.
But the Talbot family, Maserati, went and opened something called Mesutex on Camp Johnson Road, where Oreo uniform was across the road. They went and opened Mesutex directly opposite on the St. Thomas side.
Wow.
And whose uniform they were by? The president's own or the Weeks family own? Everybody was going for Mesutex. That created some disenchantment as well.
So let's look at this. Before you come in, if historically, this thing has followed us like our shadows.
Yeah.
Imam had become institutionalized. Charles D.B. King, Willie Arrow Talbot, Samuel Canyon Doe.
Let's start with E.J. Roy.
E.J. Roy has become institutionalized to the point that I was asking the question, can it ever be stopped? What can we ever do? And today, in today's Liberia, somebody will tell you, well, Tiawon, you can't stop it. This thing has been from the beginning, has become it's a new normal. If you don't do it, meaning that you don't use your head, you
that's right.
You will.
Well, I heard Taylor said one official who was at PRC, when everybody complains, say, where you try go, is where the goat eats. And then Onodo, when Fumble and others complain about corruption, say and you don't want to use your car, while you say we're buying people car, park your own, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there has been an approval right from the top, from the presidency in this country for a long time. Now, but let's talk about today. The question is there corruption today? I say yes. Look, when our lawmakers, we talk about corruption being abuse of power, decide to appropriate unto themselves
$30,000 each.
The power will give them on election day, will give them power of attorney to seek to protect our security at the border and internally by police, providing for the police to protect us,
Right.
and then to seek our welfare. Here are we in a country, our medical system is broken down, our educational system is broken down. Even rice that we used to produce, there's no clear program for producing rice. FAO last year program says that out of every dollar that Liberia sends abroad to buy goods, 80% is spent on rice, which means we are food insecure. And you know what happened to the 20 cents that remains for health and other things, procurement process, corruption takes place there too. Some of that 20 cents is gone. So 80% of our import expenditure is on rice. I mean, we are in a dangerous situation. It's all because of corruption. That $30,000 each, you multiply that over $1 million, that money could be put into health, it could be put into agriculture, it could be even put at the University of Liberia, would not be able to go slow today. That is theft of our property. That's
the point is, why are we not
misapplication
stopping it? Since this is such a social menace, why are we not stopping it?
It is simple. From history, it has shown that when the president changes, everybody changes. You saw when President Tiawon came in this country, in a country where they've been wearing tuxedo for years, that when he started wearing short sleeve shirts without issuing order, everybody started wearing short sleeve shirts. We call it total involvement. We used to wear different.
But we're wearing something different now.
Now, I am saying that if the president does not steal, the ministers will not steal. The deputy ministers, nobody will steal. Look, Botswana, their first president, Sarisi Kama, was an honest man. He left a legacy of honesty to the extent that Transparency International and all the other integrity groups rank Botswana in Africa as the least corrupt country because of that president. Jerry Rawlings, next to him, Ghana. Jerry, you can say everything. He killed some people and all of that. One thing that no Ghanaian
can say about Jerry
is that he took money from the cookie jar and put it in your pocket. And because of that legacy, Ghana today is developing. You and 1991, when I went to Ghana, it was chocolate city. Accra was a chocolate city. Go to Accra today.
Express highways.
You think you're some kind of European with roads crisscrossing, 4 lanes up, down, like you somewhere else. And every 3 or 4 months you go to Accra, you see something new.
Something new.
Because of Paul Kagame, he has his human rights and democracy credentials that are questionable. But in terms of putting your hand in a cookie jar, no Rwandese will tell you that. I've been to Rwanda twice. And same thing with...
That's the cleanest city in Africa.
It is. The late Makufuli, his citizens say he was okay. And because of that, he was using the money to develop Tanzania. One president. If the president does it right, everybody follows. And in Liberia, I think if the president gets it right, our development will go faster. There are big countries in population and sizes.
And you don't think we're getting it right?
No.
We're not.
Look at what happened on Friday. Let's take ourselves seriously. If the president of Liberia takes a private event, a celebration of his birthday, which has not been legislated into
a
law,
national holiday,
like top mandate, and all the ministers and deputy ministers and assistant ministers and several people in government do not work on that day. and they go to celebrate the birthday. That's abuse of corruption because LACC needs to calculate all those who didn't work that day and let the president pay that money to us, put it in the coffers for the money that we lost that day. So corruption manifests itself in different. You take that down, that's corruption. You're going to visit your girlfriend on a weekend. I've seen some people do that on a weekend, and I call the president and say, look, you, my friend, stop this. You have a 3-car convoy. I see your car in the middle. We are exercising right now. Man, what you're doing is immoral. You're not setting good example. And 2, you are using our revenue because the people who are working for you today, the gasoline in that car, the wear and tear on that car are all for your private venture, which are not public, cannot be justified. It's not a public duty. So you need to return all the money that your security and the driver, everybody is making today. You need to refund it to us because they needed to be home with their family today. So I'm saying corruption is abuse of office, and it comes in different ways. And there are many people doing that. They misuse their to do that. You go to a girlfriend place, return that money to us. And that's why
use a public vehicle to visit a girlfriend, not your wife.
Not your wife.
That's corruption.
That's corruption. You are not performing a public duty. We expect you to have your wife. If you go on your farm and you take bread down from the office, the gasoline, everything refunded.
Councilor, I just want to bring something quickly. You talk about Toddbot, when he came in and he started, wearing certain outfit. The entire country, people started doing it without even a law. Today, George Weah's administration, there's this popular dress code called proposal. I don't see you wear that. I don't know why you don't like it or what. It's popular now. It's sold at somewhere around $75, but young people go for it because the president is wearing it. Now, you've talked a lot about corruption.
Is it because the president is wearing it?
Probably.
Because it's affordable.
Probably, yeah, because he advertises it a lot, wears it with sneakers in so many forms. What is the missing link in a fight against corruption in Liberia? What is that particular thing that we've now laid our hands on to ensure that we chase this menace away from our society?
You used the big word political will. It takes discipline. It takes respect for human rights. Because as a government, the citizens have a right and an obligation to participate in the governance of the country by criticizing to put you on track. That's why I think any serious president coming to this country should make it a right for every citizen to photograph officials of government in the performance of their duties, including the police officers and all that. And that if you take anybody's camera away who is taking your photograph as an official of government in doing something that is not legal, that should be a crime, a serious crime for which that person can go to jail. Because the citizens in this country, they say bad sickness requires bad medicine.
Yeah.
The citizens of this country should really get rigorously involved in the monitoring of governance in this country. And we should give them the freedom to do that. We have Freedom of Information Act. We removed the anti-speech laws. But government is not still monitored. We still hear and read about cameras being taken away and the photos deleted, the audio deleted and all that. That should be made a crime so that citizens can monitor. We see, we follow what happened with George Floyd in the great United States.
Right.
The police was giving a different story. It took that 17-year-old girl to change the whole story. So it means that citizens monitoring a government, especially about videotaping, audio recording, and all that, is good for governance, so that people know that people are watching them.
So let me take it back. I don't know whether I should take it back to the days of when Todman was here. We might have been in grade school, so we didn't have that luxury, that intelligence to be able to to X-ray Todman's administration. But you've come after Todman.
In fact, Todman was the most important government official when I was in the kindergarten. Alec in Ganta, they say, "Where you want to be?" Our copybook had Todman picture on it. So I said Todman.
Some you ask her where you want to be. You want to be Todman, or you want to be some people say I want to be president. So no, I want to be Todman.
I want to be Todman.
So look at Todman's administration and Tobo's administration and Doe administration and Taylor's administration, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf's administration. Now we are in Georgia. Which of these administration you think is the most corrupt in terms of these practices that you just itemized?
You know, because I'm very critical, I might say things that people may not like. Two things. I expected much out of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. So I hold her highly responsible for what is happening today. For example, under Ellen, legislative corruption, bribery of the legislature was institutionalized. It's recorded. Every Liberia was listed as the #1 country for bribery, and that bribery was coming from the executive. Clementia Uri brought clear evidence he could not be prosecuted because of statute of limitation. But he clearly said that, in fact, the go ahead to bribe the legislature came from the president. And now legislative bribery has become so institutionalized that to get out of the legislature is going to be a tough situation. To the extent that under President Sirleaf, the legislature for the first time got involved in spending money. So the whole idea of separation, which is unconstitutional, the whole idea of separation of power, that they will make law, they will have oversight over the governance by the executive, and they will hold the president accountable every year to come and report to them on what he did with the budget and, how he spent the people's money. It's changed. I think we should have a situation where the legislature now reporting too, because the president's report is on his cabinet ministers, how they function in different ministries. But the development in the countries are now hindered by the legislature because the superintendents cannot spend money until they have that legislative sitting to discuss all of that. And that slows down development. Liberia does not need that. Since the war, I usually say, there's no space for president now. We need a project manager to reconstruct this country, to reorder the direction of this country. And people are slowing down these things with all kinds of formalities. And President Sirleaf brought that.
So President Sirleaf government is the most corrupt.
Extremely corrupt.
Extremely corrupt.
Because you see, she, for example, when her son Robert Sirleaf was accused of knockout. Remember, right before Harry Greaves died, he had said, I can prove that last year Nokal had $80 million in the account. That money was not accounted for. And when GSC raised the issue and you journalists were raising the issue of Robert Sirleaf, the president said, I take responsibility. What that means, that obstruction of justice. In other words, don't investigate.
Investigate me.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
So she set the foundation. I'm not looking.
So she is the most corrupt.
Yeah, I'm looking at the source. I'm not looking at what happens later on. If President Sirleaf had laid a firm foundation for good governance in this country, I believe President Weah will have decided not to run because the bar will have been so high. Today, anything you tell President Weah, he said, but you'll have a president.
Exactly.
The one who came from Kennedy School of Government. What she did? And she brought her children into government, and she started bribing, and she started doing that. That is the foundation. That's why I hold her responsible. Because,
but that doesn't make it right anyway.
It is wrong. I'm saying two rights don't make one wrong, but I'm looking at experience in government, in the international community. She was the only person who had much to protect in terms of her credentials. Worldwide. George, we had a footballer working a credential to defend that.
Let's take out.
So, that's I hold her responsible, and history will keep holding her responsible for what she did to this country.
So they, even if we were to do what you call it as how do you call it? You call it as some kind of audit.
Lifestyle audit.
Lifestyle audit.
Oh no, you
Ellen
know
will
what?
come
No,
up.
you know what? Ellen was smart, but that doesn't make her right. There are people in this government who in 1 year build so many houses. I do not know of any house that Ellen Sirleaf built. But there are all these.
But yet our government is saying the government was the most corrupt.
Look at the legislative bribery. There were never before in our history as a legislature even had investigation of bribery with Snow and others. It was under our regime. Yet we prosecuted Snow and others. I was Solicitor General, we prosecuted Judy Bryan, all these people for bribery. Why should she go anywhere near bribery?
Let's take our second break, and when we come back, call us on those numbers on 077-777-107. You'll be live from 5050 on Sky 107. Our special studio guest, Councillor Tiawon Gongloe. He is the president of the Liberian National Bar Association.
Our manager the better money.
Hey man, sorry man, but you ready last month about you.
The tea has been a new pin. I just want to buy my credit for the week.
Hey man, you worry for nothing. Jago guy said a new thing. You'll be surprised with the kind of new gift I come with.
My oh man, they are still here talking plenty.
Yes, get a new SIM card for only 50 cents and you'll receive free 200 megabytes, valid for 7 days, and free 50 minutes on net credit, valid for 7 days. Now, all new customers acquiring a new SIM card will be able to use it right away. Enjoy rapid communication with friends and loved ones. We'll take pride in bringing you closer to what matters the most.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
Here we go. I am done transferring money from my account to my phone. And I didn't forget to purchase some data for both of us.
Eva, how did you manage to finish the process so fast?
Ma, I'm using the new app there. With just one tap, I see all I want to do. Making transaction quick and easy for me.
You mean easy? And I only have to download the app?
Yes, so ma. And by the way, the item you took, I am paying using the same app. My transaction on the screen right in front of me.
No need to go through a long, tedious process to transact. Now, with one single tap, you find all options to complete your transactions. Download the Orange Money app from Play Store and the iPhone App Store and start enjoying. Easy like 1, 2, 3.
Brings you closer.
Excuse me, Papa, give me one bottle of wine. That's another plate of barbecue chicken and...
Wait up the wait 1 minute. Go come back. My lollipop, I know I told you to relax and enjoy, but sorry, I just checked and don't have enough cash.
Oh man, are you worried there? Thing, I got cash on my phone to scan and pay, but I want my money back as soon as you get home.
No problem there, but explain to me some more. Scan and pay?
Yes, with money in your Orange Money wallet, you can now scan and pay using QR codes. Check with your favorite merchants. Don't be left behind. To pay, simply download and open the Orange Money Africa app, select Scan It, and scan. Now payment is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Orange Money QR codes.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
Well, what kind of message did people sending me again? Oh, who said my SIM not register? I was one of the first people then to buy my SIM from them when they came to Liberia.
I see. So that all I say only one challenge time. Now you must do a using your national ID card. After registration, there is a special number you can call.
Really make it easier for us, oh.
Yes, we are all required to by using our national ID cards. But that Orange Liberia provides a very easy way out for you to self-check your status. Dial *5434# to check a SIM registration status, free of charge. We take pride in bringing you closer to what matters the most.
Brings you closer.
Hello, your number one 100% Liberian-owned professional garage and auto parts dealer, Uptown Garage, is still around and going stronger and getting better. Yes, Uptown Garage at the intersection of Broad and Nelson Streets, after 20 years in the business, has a new spare parts store known as Uptown Spare Parts on Broad Street side. You don't have to order spare parts from overseas. You can purchase brand new spare parts for your car from us. No more used parts. For original spark plug from Japan, oil filters, engine oil, and everything you need to get your car working perfectly, come to us. Uptown Garage has a branch at Rehab that you can also count on. We have a diagnoser that can find and we fix any problem on your car. With our sophisticated equipment, we give 1 month warranty. We provide a tow truck free of charge if it's our garage that will work on your car, or we can tow your car anywhere for a fee. Uptown Garage has been around for 20 years now, providing reliable, efficient, and professional services and durable auto parts for your car. Contact Uptown Garage head office on 0777 553317, 0886 553317, or at our rehab branch on 0770 902865. Our email address is uptowngarage2014@gmail.com. Uptown Garage, always the best. Forget the rest.
Thank you very much. Back on 50/50 on Sky 107. What forms of corruption, that is what they practice in the Peoples Republic of Liberia, and what effect does that form have on the overall development agenda of Liberia? Can corruption ever be stopped? Our special studio guest, Tiawon Gongloe, Councillor Tiawon Gongloe, President of the National Bar Association of Liberia. I'm being assisted by my co-host, Matthias Labendi. Let's go to the line, talk to our first caller. Good morning.
Max.
Good morning, is that PBJ?
Yeah, Max. Let me say hello to my younger brother and colleague.
Morning.
People say we have the similar characteristics. You know, Max, what I'm going to tell you people is very important for the future of this country. That indication he revealed, including Ure, is accurate to the point. I want the bull. They were Dustin Wolacolli, who were in the house at that time. That Ure asked, he said, my man, what happened? The people have done everything, and the letters don't want to confirm the documentation. And the Wolacolli told him, you're my friend. Oh, you're my friend. The people are not sending nothing, they're sending some money.
Sure. Wolacolli suggested that.
How about that? Wolacolli said, our colleague said, no paper there to approve nothing, and just send money. So I told Ure, I said, look, go tell the president. We're not saying he wants in there. And he went there, she said, okay, you go find money, get to the people.
Mm-hmm.
This is how they want this government. And that's our best out with her. We talk about nobody 16 billion until she died. How money? What kind of arrogance is that? What kind of arrogance is that? People get the opportunity to lead the need, go do that with their inheritance. And Gongloe will tell you the truth. Look, she made a statement that before she leave power, she will make 10 million years. That money, and that Blanco money. So there's a lot of Liberians right who are million years from government coffers, including ourselves. I can recall 3 or 4 years to our president first term, he did a party, needed $25,000 in an executive meeting. And the party are stupid or because they get opportunity. Another thing she did, the party that came out to power, she tried to destroy it. I know many examples. Look, you can't be a dictator and pretend to be a you need democracy. Look, if this government is serious, that woman may be in jail by now. This government. But I believe that they're here in the cookie jar. I've been Minister of Justice twice. I see a lot of things. I saw how they distributed our money. Those who are beneficiaries.
You mean the government is guilty of the $16 billion? You can prove that?
Look, let me tell you something, Max.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. Look, if you do an audit, that was going to scheme. I need that $25,000 in an executive meeting. Yeah, who's the asked to provide?
Go ahead. We lost that caller already? Call me on that number on 077777107. You'll be live on 5050 on Sky 107. Let's go back to the line. Talk to our next caller.
Good morning, T-Max.
Good morning.
Good morning to your studio guests and to my tires.
Good morning.
My name is David E. Harris, and I called from my resident this morning. T-Max, since we have discovered that the issue of corruption is being around since the foundation of this country, for my question to your studio guests, what can we do as a country, as a government, and as a people to get rid of the issue of corruption? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Call me on that number on 077777107. Let's go back to line 4. Talk to our next caller. Good morning. Good morning. That caller is not. Good morning. Good morning, PPG. You're back on the line.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, T-Mac.
Yes, go ahead.
Look, let me tell you something. That money thing here, look for instance, you remember the case with CBL? CBL, the nuclear man now, senator, and he project himself, so they never get authorization for the money. They collect, and I brought a thing back here and say, yeah, they get authorization. Now, as a security personnel investigator, that doesn't raise eyebrow. So my own cousin, Amajala, who approached him, he, at both houses of the Senate and House, banking committee should be investigated. You had to put up a Tamafala of money? Now, look, let me tell you something. It's easier to catch people. The man living next door to you, T-Max. He ain't got bicycle.
We lost him again. I'm not even going to go back to him again.
I'm still here.
Oh, you stay there. You said the guy next door to me doesn't have a bicycle, and so what?
In less than no time.
I said the man living next door to you.
Uh-huh.
Okay? He ain't got bicycle. Every day you come, you say, oh, but man, what? I said, but man, has funny. After 1 month, you see the man got a new car. He changed everything in the house. You know you're not where you get money from. Look, it's easy to catch poor man. When a man is poor, you get him money. You want to show everybody got money. Then curiosity prevail. Look, the people need to check. This government need to be serious. Start with your own people. Start with the previous government. And you will see what will happen here.
Thank you very much, PPJ. Thank you very much. Call me on that number on 077777107. You'll be live from 5050 on Sky 107. Our special studio guest. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, T-Max.
Good morning, my brother. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, my name is Rich Pade. I call you from Cyprus.
From Cyprus. Go ahead, Pade.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Gongloe.
Good morning.
Yeah, you know, Mr. Gongloe, you know, T-Max, today you made my day. He is one of my favorite when it comes to character and integrity. Because Gongloe is somebody who I believe in so much. He don't know me personally, but I know him very well. I've been following his track record, even from the time he was Minister of Labor up to present.
But ask the main question now. Ask the main question now.
On Broad Street by 6 o'clock. Because Gongloe packed his government vehicle, sent for his private vehicle to go home. And I was like, wow, what's the reason? He said, well, it's after working hour. And, you know, so from that day, I had a whole lot of respect for him.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Call me on that number on 077777107. You'll be live from 5050 on Sky 107. Let's go back to line 4. Talk to our next caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Dimas.
Good morning, my brother. What's your name, please?
Yeah, I'm Daniel calling from Kangateon.
Dan, go ahead.
Thank you to your studio guest. This is one man I always admire as a young man coming up. He's one of the role models, but our society is such that we don't hear those kind of people like this in our midst. Because the people feel that they're straight, they will do the right thing, and a lot of people in our society are against the people. I remember when I was working with GC, we went to audit many days. John Malo sent us. There were always times they would speak against John Malo because he spoke against the Autism Society. And today, we send our man, Tiawon proceeding the way statement should proceed. And he said something that I talked to heart, and it's difficult for that even just ordinary Liberians to say that the thing that Madam Cllr put us in this country. I've been quest for the presidency for more than 20, 30 years, and you successfully took it. At the end of the day, you put the same country that you thought you would transform to a deeper dungeon, which of course was in the history of, this country is a difficult thing to ever imagine.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Again,
thank you very much. My time is
Thank you,
running out. Let's go back to line 1. Talk to our next caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Kimia.
Not about team and the well-and counselor.
Do you agree with him?
Said it all.
Do you agree with him when he said that the most corrupt since the days of Todman is the Ellen Johnson administration? You agree with him?
Yes, because she had been an iron lady in the whole time and flesh in the political lens fray. I think Ellen should have made this country to have been on a roadmap to say that development would have been on a very good level. But she had to sell a brown envelope because she had certain interest in the lawmakers, and the lawmaker waited for the brown envelope. That's my own disappointment. And MJ Noka, she had her son. She said that she took the blame. Damaging effect, Liberia is living on riches that the white folk can come. Yeah, we have a lesser population. So this is my own disappointment about Ellen. But about the job we are administration, Ellen should be culpable. The World Economic Crime School is waiting for them. His coastal highways should have been done well in the commission of the World Economic Crime School. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Call me on that number on 0777 107. Let's go back to line 5. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Timas.
Good morning.
Timas, thank you. This is your son, Michael E. Flomo Sr.
Go ahead, Michael.
And I'm from Waterside. Timas, I want to know, how is Gina?
Gina will be coming back today.
Thank God for that. Okay, Timas, I listened to the counselor, and I want to believe everything that he said. Timas, quite frankly, Ellie herself admitted that. Ellie said when she first came, she said corruption was eating us up. Later on, she said corruption has turned to vampire and sucking the people. So it was corrupt since the top regime. For sure, was an early regime. We saw it clear. We saw people walking away who were impacted for corruption. We saw them walking away. Look at Bernie Sanders today. You know what I'm saying? Look at money in our place for things and were misused. It's all corruption. So I think I want to start with the councilor. Thank you for the opportunity, Mark.
Thank you very much. Let's go to the line to talk to our last caller. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Mark. My name is Kenneth Harris. I call you from Lexington, Kentucky.
Go ahead, Harris.
Well, right. I'm one of those that support the councilor in here, and I just want to ask my councilor, what are the very things that we have to do for those that are over that in the diaspora that we can just start to help in, so we can make sure that we can cover Liberia for this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's
I didn't get that question.
We want the first the question I asked, but the guy want you to make more clarity on that question. How do you think corruption can be stopped?
Okay,
You talk about lifestyle audit.
Right. So that's what I said, lifestyle audit. But let's go into, before people get me to say this government is not corrupt, this government is extremely corrupt.
This government is
extremely corrupt. I'm saying that corruption is based on the corruption, the foundation that Ellen started. Because for the first time in the history of this country, in fact, their corruption is not even sophisticated, it's just raw theft.
This government?
Yeah. I mean, for the first time in the history of this country, a few years ago, 9 embassies came up with a letter and said, you took our money from central bank, put it back.
Right.
That's theft. It was so embarrassing for any well-meaning Liberian to say, what is this? That the government is considered to be a thief.
But yeah, you said any government is more corrupt than this.
Yes, because I don't look at where the water enters the sea. I look at the source. And I say, much was expected of her. She laid this foundation. Look at what is happening. In 1 year, a lot of people in government who, like PPJ said, were struggling in order to get bus fare, started building houses worth 200,000, 300,000. President Weah himself built several houses, tore down a new building on 9th Street and built more than one, built a place there opposite Baptist Seminary. I know it because when I was, we hosted the African Bar annual convention here in 2019, invited us there for dinner, and everybody, lawyers like evidence. All the lawyers were taking picture. Let's take picture. Now, trying to take get evidence because Costa had talked about it and people are not seeing it. And
so you saw that with your
we were surprised that with that in a short time he built a kind of, and some people were saying, oh, the man made money. What I know about stars, whether Mike Tyson or whoever, they never keep money. When they get out of it, they get broke fast. He was broke before becoming president. And for him to have that type of accumulation of wealth is
corruption.
Is corruption, is bad role modeling for this country. Presidents are our first role model. And now, under President Weah, I can see that he will create more thieves than good people for this country. So
he will create more thieves.
Yes, because he's a role model. Everybody will say, we want to be like that. We need to stop that. And I hope Liberians can rethink in the coming election to do things properly to put this country in a better direction. Because I don't think, we can withstand this. President Weah, his supporters say he loved the country, he got the country hard. But I always say two things. When you don't have the ability and the preparation, there's nothing that you can do. President Weah governing this country, in my view, is like putting a 100-pound bag of rice on a 10-year-old boy head to carry. I mean, look at what happened on Friday. President Weah was standing, the thing I see the high school student do when they finish their exam. He was standing in a white gown, and the people were writing happy birthday over.
On his clothes?
Yeah, all over. I said, oh, didn't he enjoy his childhood? This sounds a little bit childish. I mean, some people say I'm going below the belt, but presidency is way up there. So I think he still has time. I don't know whether he has time to retool and give us a better direction.
Let me, before I beg you, producer, just give me one chance because I don't want it to slip me. And I know you will say, because I know you for a year, you will say it's an hypothetical question. Let it be hypothetical in that context. Tomorrow we have elections. Tiawon Gongloe become our next president of the Republic of Liberia. How will you tackle corruption?
First, there will be no nepotism. I will not employ my relatives in the government.
You will not give me a job?
Oh, I said, you are not my family member, you're a friend, and you're qualified. That's not to the extreme. Then, first, executive order. You
will not change your house?
First, I will build no new house. Two, my best house is in Gongloe. That's where I'm happy to be. The first executive order. Any government, any minister or high official government that tampers with the decision, orders, and instruction, whatever, of the court will be summarily dismissed. The judiciary has to be independent in order to deal with corruption. Two, and another executive order. The executive order will be anyone who tampers with police operation will be immediately dismissed. Police has to be professional. When you talk to the police, there's so much interference with the police to the extent that there's selective law enforcement that has made the police very weak.
Right.
The third thing I would do is, women are extremists. If you found good women, you found perfect women. Not less than 80% of the cabinet ministers and high posts will be held by women, good women in this country, and there are good women. And I believe that they will help that government to give Liberia
what will
what
you
it
do?
deserves.
What will you do with former corrupt government officials?
Or they will be prosecuted.
Will be
And
prosecuted.
My credential for that is not questionable. I prosecuted Judy Bryan and some people in this government. I've dealt with two presidents. I'm the one that oversaw with other government officials the turning over of Cllr to the special court. So my credential of justice and accountability. Let me say this: my big brother, Prince Johnson, the first day I appeared before the Senate for confirmation on for Solicitor General, only one question Prince Johnson asked me.
What was that?
He said, "What is your view about war crimes?" That's in 2006.
Then what did you tell him?
I said, "I believe in accountability for war crimes, and I think those who commit atrocities during the war should be prosecuted." And there was no further question.
There was no further question.
Let me also conclude that under President Sirleaf, one of the reasons I can speak with every degree of credibility is that President Sirleaf herself told me that I was not corrupt. You remember the time she was reviewing her cabinet ministers, and they forgot about me. So I called the late Ms. Cooper and said, "I'm a cabinet minister to a minister of labor. You will not call me to review me." She said she called me 2 hours later. The president said you should be at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs at 4 o'clock. I arrived there. She said, "There are two things I do. You come here, I review you, I review the ministers, then they review me. But my people tell me you are the first to go to labor ministry and you are the last to leave. And then you're here now in a cookie jar. So I get nothing to tell you." So the floor is yours now to tell me.
Exactly.
What
did you tell me?
So I said, I got so many issues on you.
I tell you.
But I will just tell you two today. I said the first one
You are
is that the
corrupt.
people believe that you don't believe that I think you can say you got zero tolerance for corruption is not true. The people down water side know it's not true because you got your friends and relatives who are very close to you who are extremely corrupt. But you went behind Swazi Genesis, assistant minister of postal affairs for selling electricity to neighbors. That's the thing the people interested in. They talk about the people, the BP people. Then she said, "Oh, yeah, that's true. I come and change that one next week." I said, "That's my second issue with you. President, you can talk too much. You're not supposed to tell me, a minister, that you come and fire some kind of minister or something next week. Whatever I get out here and tell all the ministers that president come and fire somebody. All the ministers who are corrupt say, but then let me take my last eating here."
Before you come here.
Yeah, that means they're taking money from us. And people will say, "I can't." Then people will be gossiping in ministries. By the time the ministers come back, they start firing people based on gossip. The man who is the other manager is sent as a warehouse supervisor.
Oh, thank you very much. Let's
So-
the producers
so
are saying we should take the last break.
I speak about corruption because I discipline myself in government. I used to say, my prayer in the morning was the thing that me and Tiawon and all these people, radicals in the 70s spoke about is something that I should not do. I said the lines that I shouted at other people for are lines that I should not cross.
Let's take our last break,
And
and when we come back, we go
God
straight
help
to Princess for comments from our social media users.
Wait now. So you mean to tell me I can send my man any amount now? The fees not reduced?
Yes, so it can make people happy, yeah?
That's not smart to you.
Send money to your loved ones from wallet to wallet, starting as low as $10 Liberian. Just dial *144# and follow the instructions to begin transacting.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
Our manager can send the money.
Hey, man. Sorry, man. But you can really last month in battle you.
Let's see everything that I new pig. I just want to buy my credit data for the week.
Hey, man. You worry for nothing. Just go get yourself a new thing. You'll be surprised with the kind of new gift I come with.
My oh man. They are sitting here talking plenty.
Yes. Get a new SIM card for only 50 cents and you'll receive free 200 megabytes, valid for 7 days, and free 50 minutes on net credit, valid for 7 days. Now, all new customers acquiring a new SIM card will be able to use it right away. Enjoy rapid communication with friends and loved ones. We take pride in bringing you closer to what matters the most.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
Hello, your number one 100% Liberian-owned professional garage and auto parts dealer, Uptown Garage, is still around and going stronger and getting better. Yes, Uptown Garage at the intersection of Broad and Nelson Streets, after 20 years in the business, has a new spare parts store known as Outside. You don't have to order spare parts from overseas. You can purchase brand new parts for your car from us. No more used parts. For original spark plugs from Japan, oil filters, engine oil, and everything you need to get your car working perfectly, come to us. Uptown Garage has a branch at Rehab that you can also count on. We have a diagnoser that can find and we fix any problem. Tow truck free of charge if it's our garage that will work on. But we can tow your car anywhere for a fee. Uptown Garage has been around for 20 years now, providing reliable, efficient, and professional services and durable auto parts for your car. Contact Uptown Garage head office on 0777 55 3317, 0886 55 3317, or at our rehab branch on 0770 90 2865. Our email address is uptowngarage2014@gmail.com. Uptown Garage, always the best. Forget the rest.
To Studio A to Princess to give us comment from our social media users. Over to you, Princess.
All right, so I will speedily take a few. Let's begin with Bona Yawolosaki. He writes, "Good morning, Team X. I'm following you from district number 13. Yes, corruption can be stopped in Liberia if the leader of our country do away with sympathy, because with sympathy, while leading, we will always have corruption." Samuel Sakama writes, "Smart man, so Liberia needs more Gongloes." Hamilton Zelly writes, "Good morning, sirs. I think the evil of corruption has and will continue to destroy uncountable lives than any other war recorded in history. Corruption has permeated the DNA of many in society, including the church. The way to deal with this societal evil is to approach it intentionally, mindfully, and consistently." Mohammed Passaway writes, "T-Max, the topic under discussion, corruption. The only way we can minimize corruption is for us to have the political way void of sentiment, and that should be collective efforts by all." Kelawo Flomo writes, "Yes, corruption can be stopped, but needs the effort of every Liberian. The only reason why we are drowning in corruption is because we decided to normalize it." Kawe Senior Salute writes, "We have all these brilliant guys and we keep looking for mediocrity in Liberia." Samuel Sakama writes, "Voice of wisdom." Yatsu Johansson writes, "Many Liberians are lazy readers. This is the reason why most of us don't know our history." Kawe Senior Salute writes, "Gongloe is a brilliant and honest man. We need more of his kind." Samuel Sakama, "We are hearing from Samuka and Gongloe within the same 24 hours. What a day. Why can't these guys speak to our people more?" Black Dama Dama writes, "Yes, a lifestyle audit will be okay for government officials in Liberia." Adiaha Adonjes Omo writes, "How I wish we could have such a system in Liberia where government officials will be audited every 3 months." And I'm going to take like few more. Let me take this one. Hamilton Zidi. "Exactly, presidency is supposed to be model of good behavior of society. Whatever president does, people will want to do." And Festus Marken says, "If the president of the Republic of Liberia thinks that it is impossible to fight corruption because we are interrelated, it's that in the fight against corruption, to win the war, people will die, friendship will break, and family will bend. So what? I believe we need a replica of what happened in Next Guinea. Sad, but it's the fight." And this final one, but we'll take like two. Bill Carson says, "We must be looking at today with these criminals looting our country." And Precious Freeman writes, "It's so true. We expected more from Ellen, but she let us down." Let me take this final one. Okay, that's okay for now, T-Max.
Thank you very much. Our time is up.
All right.
Councillor Gongloe, thank you very much for accepting our invitation. You want to leave with a closing statement? Just a brief closing statement.
let me call on all Liberians to fight corruption without sympathy, as someone said, because we have one country called Liberia. Let us be loyal to our country and our consciences.
Thank you very much. On that note, we come to the end of this edition of 50/50. My name is Tima. Thanks for being there. Tomorrow morning, again, I'll be here to do another show. Your interest of making our country the wholesome functioning society. Thanks for being there. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye for now.